Welcome, blessed beings and enchanted viewers, to another edition of Veggie Elite on Supreme Master Television. I am Charlie from Ohio, USA, pleased to be spreading love, light, and liberty to our viewers around the world. On today's show, we'll learn about the fascinating life of Mayim Bialik, famous television actress, vegan activist, author, dedicated mother, and neuroscientist. Mayim Bialik was born in San Diego, California, and inherited traits from her beloved parents, who were creative intellectuals and pacifists. She was always an odd one out, at school and in society, and grew up having to deal with the anxiety and stress of being different and not easily fitting in. In a way, this perfectly suited her, for acting, and her first professional audition came at 11 years old, and by age 13, she had a small role playing a young Bette Midler in the film Beaches. 2 years later, her acting career blossomed. Early fame was gained when Mayim was starring as teenager Blossom Rousseau on the popular NBC sitcom Blossom for 5 seasons from 1990 to 1995. After the show came to an end, Mayim was accepted into the prestigious universities Harvard and Yale, but decided to attend UCLA to remain close to her parents, who were residing on the West Coast. In 2007, this actress received her PhD in neuroscience, which made her new acting role a perfect fit, playing a neurobiologist and vegan Amy Farrah Fowler on the CBS mega hit The Big Bang Theory. Mayim has received much praise for her role. In 2016, she earned Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series from the Critics' Choice Television Awards, and has also been nominated for 4 consecutive Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series from 2012 to 2015. Mayim became a vegetarian at 19 years of age to support animal rights, and always knew in her heart that a flesh diet was not for her. I used to feel guilty, she states. Even as a child, I felt guilty about eating animals and never knew there was something to do about it. She did not favor dairy either, and after reading Jonathan Safran Foer's book, Eating Animals, she went fully vegan. As Mayim put it in 2012 at the LA Times Festival of Books, it was after that book that I had the education, confidence, and personal conviction to go vegan. After cutting dairy out of her diet completely, Mayim claims to have never had a sinus infection or been on antibiotics, and her allergies have reduced considerably. Instead, she's turned to smoothies and raw breakfast to start her day. Describing her veganism as ethical, environmental, and healthy, Mayim has become very active on the vegan star scene. She has published a cookbook, a parenting book, and a teenage girl's growing up guidebook. She regularly speaks about her lifestyle on her website, groknation.com, and voices causes important to her, which more than qualifies her to become selected as the cover of the summer 2014 edition of Compassionate Living, an online magazine. A cause that she has been vocal about is animal testing. Partnering with Cruelty Free International, Mayim says, it doesn't take a genius to know that using animals for cruel and unnecessary cosmetic tests is unjustifiable. She also has participated in a campaign for PETA, trash meat and go vegan. Mayim also co-founded Shamayim Baretz Institute, meaning heaven and earth in Hebrew, a Jewish organization that advocates for ethical treatment of animals and promotes plant-based lifestyle, no animal testing, and spreading awareness of a compassionate lifestyle based on the edicts of Judaism. Other advocacy efforts include promoting documentaries, including Forks Over Knives and Veggie. Her research also found that every major medical organization recommends citizens to eat more fruits and vegetables and less processed foods. She turns to some of the greatest plant-based thinkers of the past, Gandhi, Leonardo da Vinci, and Einstein, to prove that it's not a trendy fad to be plant-based. The cost for trying to treat and cure diseases that have long been proven to be associated with the consumption of animal products affects us all. She says passionately, it is not only costly on the health front, but also has detrimental effects on the planet. She voiced on Real Time with Bill Maher that the environmental impact of keeping and harvesting animals is actually worse than driving all cars and trucks. Mayim notes that in traditional societies, there was a more respectful connection to the land and farmers. Yet now, in modern society, the consumer has no idea of the tormenting processes animals go through to become food. This disconnect turns animals into an abstraction, and we forget that they are living, loving beings, just like us. So she makes an informed decision to be vegan and bring awareness to the plight of the animals. Following that wonderful inspiration, it's time to go and pet the dog, feed the cat, and give loving thanks and gratitude to the animals around us. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to Veggie Elite here on Supreme Master Television. We are featuring the talented and inspiring Mayim Bialik and learning more about her views on nutrition, parenting, and building strong and secure self-esteem. Mayim provides both her sons a deeply bonded, balanced, and healthy upbringing. They have spent time visiting animal rescue farms, cleaning beaches, and collecting items for donation, and are learning the ways of the world. I think it's important to raise children who still feel comfortable in a world of non-vegan. So when they are not with their parents, they know how to act and how to react when someone offers them something that is either not vegan or something they are unsure about. She notes that her boys are thriving on this diet and feeds them simple, wholesome foods. They are very healthy. They have never been on antibiotics. They grow, they run, and they jump. The single mom shares that being kind to animals is an important ethic in Judaism, and she was actually raised to love animals. So it was only natural for her to create vegan recipes for Jewish holidays for her friends and family. The more she investigated and the more she cooked, Mayim discovered that there are substitutes for almost every kind of animal product you can imagine, from food to cosmetics to clothing. As she started posting her own recipes on the parenting blog, kveller.com, her readers kept asking for more. As a result, in 2014, Mayim worked with pediatric nutritionist Dr. Jay Gordon and published a completely vegan cookbook. Mayam's Vegan Table with over 100 recipes. She said she wanted the recipes, which are her own, to be very approachable for the average person, vegan or non-vegan. She often cooks in advance and freezes food to save time. Some of her personal favorite dishes are her shepherd's pie, vegan Reuben sandwich, mac and cheese casserole, and of course, her jelly donuts. Positive reviews came from diverse media like Farm Blog, Huffington Post, Natural Jewish Parenting Blog, Mother Nature Network, the Chicago Tribune, and the Odessa Magazine. Even if you're a committed omnivore, it's hard to argue that adding more plant-based foods to our menus is anything but a positive. As much as she enjoys home-cooked meals, her dining out preferences include LA Hotspots, Real Food Daily, Doomie's Home Cooking, and native foods. When traveling for her speaking engagements, Mayam turns to the Global Veg website Happy Cow to show her the best plant-based restaurants in the area. In 2017, Ms. Bielik published another insightful and caring book entitled Growing Up, How to Be Smart, Strong, and Spectacular to help young girls aged 10 to 18 years old understand the trials of growing up to become a strong and successful woman in the modern world. In one of her many vlogs on GrokNation.com, Mayam notes about her own childhood. I didn't know how to be okay with being different, and I failed all the time at brushing it off as a child. I learned early on that I was different and that I wasn't cool. So as an awkward and emotional late bloomer, she feels that sharing tips on learning to handle this maturation process of the full female experience can be useful to many of her fans and followers who may also feel emotionally displaced. In the book, she addresses topics such as how to be comfortable holding conservative and traditional views, taking your time growing up and enjoying the process, learning to deal with the fluctuating hormonal and developmental aspects of puberty, and accepting that feeling insecure, anxious, and doubtful is just okay, and a normal process for girls to go through. From this sharing, Mayam says, I have people tell me I make them feel less alone. It means now I get to reach people with my uniqueness, and because of my uniqueness. With the amount of knowledge and wisdom Mayam has, there's a chance that one may fall into the trap of trying to educate others on how to live. But this is certainly not the case for her. For the most part, she simply tries to lead by example, without trying to convert anyone. One of the founders of LA Jewish homeschoolers, Shari Rosenman, said her biggest contribution is being a role model for females. She shows that females can be smart, nerdy, and serious, but also pretty and interesting. All that and vegan too. It sounds like Mayam's got life and compassion down to a science. Respected and loving viewers, it was an honor sharing the amazing and ongoing life story of Mayam Bielik with you today on Veggie Elite. We hope that her example of courageous and compassionate living, together with a determined passion for helping the world be a better place, shines a light into your life and the world around you. Thank you, Mayam, for the wonderful example you are, and may heaven bless your continued noble and entertaining work. Up next is Between Master and Disciples, right here on Supreme Master Television.